Farmer had a couple of calves last night. I'm guessing this is one of them. We actually only thought there was one to go, but yes, that's one of them. We shan't get too close. Hasn't seen any of them suck, but I can tell you he's a big boy as well, isn't he, for a big calf that. Anyway, that's not the one we thought was going to calf. There's number 11 in here somewhere as well. Is that you, girl? That's you in the corner there. Just need to keep an eye on these, make sure they've sucked. Steady, girl. Steady now. I don't know why, but this year we've had a lot of touchy mums, more than usual. All right, girl. That's her calf in the corner there, a little stabiliser. She had a big abscess on the side of her face. We were gonna, you know, treat it in the crush, but it obviously came under some pressure and popped by itself. So, but it's all gone down now, healed nicely. Anyway, we need to give Rob a hand. That's good she had that. I think Farmer must have pulled one out, so I can see the calving crush, the puller. A lot of tagging to do in here. We need to get on the tagging in here, and then Cole will come in a few weeks time and start dehorning them. But I need to see him suck if I can. This young man, I can tell he sort of knows what he's at. Farmer's gone out spraying for the day. We set the gates up yesterday. We thought we might do some more sorting, but yeah, we're not going to get to it today. So we're going to take the gates down, and what we usually do is just set the gates up in this pen over here. It's easy to back the trailer to when we're taking cows out, but we've all got a bit of a day today. Keithy and Rob are going to go and finish some fertilising. Keithy's loading a lorry for hay up at Peter's farm. Farmer's out, he's got a day of spraying. Well, he's got more than a day of spraying, but he's got to start, you know, he's got to make a good start. So 2 fresh calves in here to keep an eye on. And yes, got a few jobs to do, and then we might go up to Peter's farm and start rolling his runway in the grass fields up there if we get to it. But we got to have these gates down, and yes, the barn project's on hold for just for a minute until the cows are out, and then we'll start back on that. But we made a good start. We just got to level that stone off. There'll be a little bit to come back off that, and then we could dig the holes for the posts. And then the man will come and set the posts up, and then yeah, that'll start taking shape. Ollie's just left. He's just put 2 new alternators on this tractor for us, so thank you again, Ollie. Just make sure our oh, that wasn't very good. We've got a weird fueling issue with this thing. That'll be the next thing, but no more no more battery light, but we've got a flashing orange right now. This thing's got a weird fuel issue. I think, yes, might be something else to fix on this thing yet. Just over at Jim's. Look at this, look. They've took the time to put it in a bag and then dropped it on the path. Isn't that nice? And people wonder why farmers don't want them crossing on their land. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, yeah, this is the wheat over at Jim's. This has changed massively. Yeah, quite tall. We'll get out and have a look in a minute. Obviously the wet holes are still the wet holes, but the crop has thickened up and looks really really good. We're here to drop some chemical off for the farmer, so yeah, he's going to spray this. I imagine it's got a little bit of disease about it, so he'll be spraying it. Look at that wheat, that looks insanely well. For what, you know, considering the winter we had, got to be happy with that, I think. We look on some of these plants, just a little bit of disease about them. So the chemical farmer sprays on them today will just bring that plant back to full health. I think this one, they suffer with yellow rust. I don't know if that's what that is. The agronomist comes around, you see, every few weeks and checks and makes sure, and yeah, gives farmer the spray details, and then he comes across it and sprays it. But on the whole, looking really well. You know, you look across the field, tilled out nice. There's the old man, come pick me up. We're going to go and feed the cattle we put out yesterday. 72 out there. Don't know how we're going to count all those, but we're going to give it a try. They're all laid up here pretty quiet. The old man has a routine, you see. He'll come across with his quad bike, once they hear the bike, they start walking across for the barley. We just put the barley in, but he'll start counting them as they walk across then. He doesn't like to rush them. But then while they're walking across as well, he's looking at them, making sure there's no bad legs. Yeah, and then when they're in the troughs, he'll check for eyes and stuff like that. But yeah, look really smart out here. They're just soaking up the sunshine, I think. Much needed. Don't touch the fence. They should all be trained up on the fence by now. They're all loving the sunshine, aren't they?
Yeah. Just right day for them, isn't it?
Oh, beautiful. They look a picture, don't they? They're going to love it out there. We're back on the runway. Just sort of, we do this job when we get like a free, it takes about an hour and a half to do it, but whenever you've got a day where you're not doing too much, you want to find yourself here, because tomorrow we'll be back on cattle, and then before you know it, the bloody glass is right up there again. But it's surprising what it's grown already. So we're at Peter's farm. This is where we planted the spring barley. Nothing coming yet. You'd look at that dirt and you'd think, oh Christ, that looks a bit dry out there, could do with the rain. You get down to this bottom bit, Christ almighty, there's water still laid. The other night we had, you know, we were after a bit of rain. You never get a bit, do you? You always get a lot. So, yes. Anyway, we like to keep this nice and tidy for him. I've got the rolls with me, going to come down with the rolls after and just roll it all flat. We've got 2 Timothy lay fields down here as well. We've got a silage field that we always should cut for silage. We'll roll that as well. There's a couple of little paddocks at the top. We've also got the cow fields. Might roll those as well while we're here. See if farm wants them rolled. Yeah, Topper's doing a lovely job. Just cutting our first straight line, so by the time we get to the end, we'll should be about right. Can't remember what blooming size this thing is. I thought it was a 4.6. Doesn't matter. Anyway, down here, yeah, and these fields always lie wet, and the you know, an inch of rain should have really soaked it up. After a week of dry, should have, you know, an inch of rain should have gone nowhere really. But Christ, the water table must still be right up there, because there's water laid on the bottom of this headland and the bottom of this one, and if it's laid there too long, the seed just won't grow. It just you just end up with bare patches. It's the worst possible time to have seed. If there was already a crop there and the water was laid there, it would stand it, you know, stand it for a week and a half and then start suffering and then die. But when it's laid water on top of your seed, the seed just rots away and you end up with nothing. So it's a bit of a shame. We're just coming up to it, you can see. I think this field at the bottom here, I think that's greened up. Farmer's chucked some P&K on there, and I think he's chucked some nitrogen on there as well. So it definitely looks greener. So we'll just see how that one progresses. We're going to come down here and roll it, because there isn't much grass there at the moment. We had a cold week last week. Even though we were on the drill, it was a cold week. So yeah. What line we're going to find ourselves on here? Oh, that'll do. Yeah. Do nicely, but you can see it's tender. It might, when we get out there with the rolls, it might even be too wet. But yeah, wet spots, wet end, all that end is wet. Yes, bit of a bummer really, but out of everything, there's not that much water laid. Just need some nice warm sunny weather now. We need a month of good warm sunny weather. We had one day of it yesterday. It's beautiful. We let the cows out. Lovely job. Anyway, I'm off on holiday next week, so it shan't bother me, whatever. We're going down to the New Forest. That's where we always tend to go. Week down there, just take mind off everything. Much needed actually, after this whole last year has been just a pain in the butt. Cows will come down here. We'll should, by the end of this week, we should have a set of cows in this. It's just over the bank there. There's a field there, lovely field. So we'll have 2 groups of cows out, hopefully. That'll loosen up the workload back at home in the mornings. And yeah, the cows will be much happier outside. So anyway, I'm going to crack on with this. We'll come back when we're rolling and see what we're doing then. We're just at the bottom of the runway. And yeah, rolling quite nice actually. I'm hoping this field comes back beautiful and green, because it looked a bit sick last year, so need a bit of warm weather and that for us on it should pick it up. But nice steady job rolling. Anyway, we're not going to do too much here, we're just going to do this bottom field. Robbo will do the rest. There's one on the hill, there's a big one at the bottom, then he's got a day elsewhere rolling as well, so the grass isn't too tall yet, so it does a job actually. But I've got my little remote here. When you're on the drill, you don't get to use this very much. I just clip it to the side there. But a job like this is perfect. I'll show you what I mean in a second. Put you in this hand. I've lined all of his lines up with his runway, so it'll be well jammed. Be able to use it as a landing strip. Well, it is a landing strip, so you'd be able to use the lines as a guide, wouldn't he? But yes, the more and more I use this thing, the more and more I like it. I'd have another one. Then press the button, spin the tractor around. A little bit wet on that hurdling there. We'll just avoid the little wet pockets. Somewhere close, hit the button. Obviously when I'm not holding you guys, it's a lot more comfortable, but it means I ain't got to keep dabbing the screen. And the only thing with this kit is if you tug on the steering wheel, it's sort of like an emergency. You can do it, but everything works better if you disengage it by the screen or by this. It all just works a little bit better. But yeah, not overlapping too much, a little bit on each side. I like making sure all the lines go the right way. But yeah, just gonna flat, you know, when we come here with the haymaking machines, it just makes everybody's life a little bit easier. The tedders, the rakes, everybody rides across a nice flat surface, bruises the grass over a little bit, you know, spurs a bit of growth on as well. These are a nice set of rolls. These they do a nice job. But they're talking thunder showers tonight, so we'll see. I think the Wales and the southwest are going to get the brunt of it. They could get up to 4 inches of rain, I heard. Christ almighty, we don't need any more rain. That would be a bad thing. Anyway, I'm going to crack on with this, and then we're going to let a few more cattle out tomorrow. We'll leave it there. We've got another couple of hours here. We're going to go and pick a tractor up. One of the tractors at another farm, so we're going to go and pick that up. I've got to put you... Oh, hang on, no. So press a little button there. That disengages it. And get yourself turned round. This end usually is a terrible man. It's coming back green, beautiful. Looks much better already. Got my little remote, press that. Obviously when you're not in my hand, it's a lot easier, but yeah. Love rolling jobs. Rolling jobs are easy jobs, you know. But farmer's going to send Robbo off tomorrow to do a day on that. It soon gets too hard to, you know, once it gets a bit warmer and the water's gone, it soon gets too hard to roll and harrow. So we usually like to run 2 machines. You know, we'll run the harrows and then we'll run the rolls behind, as long as it's, you know, good going and stuff like that. But let's open these up, look. mow. You can trim it each way. I can put my meter in on the screen, look. Now we'll start marking. You don't need it for this job, but you can put your AB lines in. You know, you can do most things from this handheld thing, but mainly it's the steering wheel. Really, you'd want it somewhere there where you can, you know, somewhere close to hand with the other controls. But this is the sort of job you'd use it on. This topping, harrowing, tedding, you know, those sort of jobs. Lovely thing to use. Just saves you keep leaning over the screen, that's all. I'll put you on my head and you can see it all a bit. I'll exaggerate for you. Coming up to the end, turn it off. Don't really want to roll that water if we can help it. So we'll avoid that. Turn back on ourselves a little bit. Press the button. Easy as that. That is nice. I like that. Right, anyway, gonna leave it there. This is what the harrows are good for. See all the dead in the bottom? You get the harrows on there and it just pulls all that out. Just adds to your quality a little bit, but the year's just been a strange year and we haven't been able to, you know, Keithy might go with Rob tomorrow, he might take the harrows tomorrow, they might go together. Just see. Yeah, there we go. We'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one.